Here we are, video number 10. We're documenting the process of buying land, building houses. And so today I want to talk to you guys about pre-slab. So plumbers are done with the rough in, and all the pipes, everything's been backfilled. You can see the fresh tractor marks that have ran through here. Last time we were out here, all the trenches were opened up, pipes were exposed. They were doing the rough in. Now the rough in has been covered up, backfilled, and today is pre-slab day. So the guys are going to be showing up here in a few minutes. They're going to be cleaning out all the trenches around the entire perimeter of the slab. Now, we do have some weight-bearing walls on the inside, so it's not just the perimeter footings that they're going to be cleaning up and getting ready for rebar, but also some key component walls in here. We have some massive ceilings in the family room, so we have some weight-bearing walls. There's going to be some footings that are going to get cut. They're shallow footings, but still footings that are going to get cut throughout the family room. And so we're going to be working on getting those cut out, cleaning out all the dirt in the footing areas throughout the entire house. And then they'll start truing up the forms and making sure everything's straight. You could see over here that like some of the forms have fallen. The tractors have hit them when they came in to do the rough in. And so some of these forms have fallen down. Now, we'll get all that fixed up, and then we'll get the survey company to actually come out here and verify that the forms are square and that all the corners of the house are where they're supposed to be based on the floor plan and the overall designs of the architecture. And so that once they set and clean all that out, they get all the rebar put in. What you guys will get to see is all of the remesh that goes through the entire slab. Now, once the remesh goes through the entire slab and all this is compacted and leveled out correctly, then the plumbers will come back in for about 2 hours worth of work. In that 2 hours worth of work, what they'll do is what's called a pre-wrap. So on a pre-wrap, what they'll do is once this is all leveled out, they'll get these pipes before the concrete actually goes in, and they'll wrap them with insulation around them, which gives about a ½ inch buffer along every single pipe throughout the inside of the house. That way, once the concrete's poured, they could pull out that pre-wrap and they have some versatility and flexibility in the piping, so that way they can move them in and out of the walls. Now, 99% of the time, the walls, the plumbing falls right in the walls. But as you could tell, there's some areas that there's a lot of pipes and plumbing. And in a 6-inch framed wall, it's really tough to fit everything linear in that wall, especially stuff like this. So they'll come out, they'll line these pipes up, they'll put this stuff lined up, and they'll square everything up. But in terms of it laying out perfect, there's always a set of pipes or two that need to be jackhammered. They get a little tiny floor jackhammer. They'll jackhammer the concrete after the foundation's poured. They'll put these into the wall, and then they'll come in with their top out, is what it's called, and they'll bring their plumbing pipes into the wall and then stubbed out for once the walls are closed up, everything looks good. Now, one thing that you need to be aware of with the plumbing when they do come in and they confirm it is that if it does not go into the wall exactly once the house begins being framed and after the foundation has been poured, one thing you got to make sure of is that the plumbers move that stuff truly in the walls. Because if you've ever walked into a house where the plumbing isn't in the wall, you can look down a wall and you'll see a little bump in the wall, and it's where the plumbing didn't quite fit and they tried to shove it in there, and the sheetrock just kind of bows around it, and then your baseboard and everything bows around it. So that happens a lot on a lot of homes where people don't pay attention to that. We land up going back in after the fact when we're doing flooring tile before we do baseboard, and we rip that stuff out. We get those plumbing pipes back in the walls. But to prevent that, it's important to be able to come out here, try to mitigate as much of the variables as humanly possible on the pre-construction parts of this, where we're actually going in, I shouldn't say pre-construction because we're in construction, in the pre-framing, pre-concrete part of the install to try to mitigate any type of movements. Now, it's impossible to get it 100% perfect. You're gonna have some variables. Don't get real uptight, stressed out about it. All that stuff is fixable. Just know that if the pipes don't fall on the wall exactly, it's a management task that you will have to be able to tell your plumbers that those have to go into the wall, or tell the framers that has to be furred over, so that way, and what fur over means is maybe they move the wall a little bit, or fur the wall to make the wall 4 inches thicker or 2 inches thicker, to be able to go around those pipes and accommodate the plumbing, so that way when the finished construction and finished carpentry of the house is done, it looks perfect. Because there's nothing less than perfect in every build. Now, when I say that, obviously nothing in life is perfect. But when I say near shy of perfect. Get it as near shy of perfect as you can. Because ladies and gentlemen, we're about to move into a recessionary market and our houses will sell. When houses don't sell, there's less than perfect qualities in them that are visible to people. And if you have bows in your wall and the plumbing doesn't fall in there in the walls from your rough-in, ladies and gentlemen, that's an issue. And so it's just a management task and a delegation task to get them to move them in the wall. Doesn't lessen the quality of the house, doesn't compromise the plumbing. It just has to simply get moved into the wall. And in spite of the foundation being poured, it's a simple task that just needs to be done. The plumbers aren't going to charge you anything. It's their responsibility to get those where they lay. And if they're off, it's their responsibilities to fix it. And it's all in a day's work for them. They might bicker and complain a tiny bit, but it's okay. Let them bicker and complain. There shouldn't be any upcharges. There shouldn't be any up fees to moving those pipes. Those are their responsibilities to true. And you're doing everything in your diligence to make sure that they have the right dimensions, the right layout, by having your surveyors come out when the forms are true to confirm that the exact layout as it's set forth in your designs and architecture is set forth also in the field. Ladies and gentlemen, we're buying land, we're building houses. This is video number 10. If you haven't already viewed videos number 1 through 9, you need to. Up below or down below, I'm going to put a link. Click the entire process, watch the entire process of buying land and building houses, and watch us from architecture phase, pre-entitlement phases, to going for permits, and then all of what you've seen here from starting dirt work, subgrade, and in form setting, rough-ins, all of that on video in full length on YouTube. Click below, join us on some other content that's related to our full process of documenting buying land and building houses. We'll see you as soon as the pre-slab is ready to go. We're ready to get our inspection to be able to pour concrete. We'll see you in a few days. You guys got to watch how I buy land and build houses. Now it's time for you to take action. If you want to get a hold of the same 14-step process that we utilize to buy land, build houses, and generate over 6 figures on every single build, you're going to want to click below. Learn from an industry professional that has been doing it for over 20 plus years. We're still doing it today. We're still taking down builds, and we're still generating over 6 figures on every single build.